compiled by the United States Catholic Historical Society. The historian Robert T. Hill stated in 1888,
"Whatever may be said against the Haitians, it should be remembered that these people nearly a century ago instituted the movement which, ending in Brazil in 1860, resulted in driving the institution of slavery from the Western Hemisphere."
What movement was this historian referring to? A movement that had begun towards the beginning of that century. At the time, the former French colony Saint-Domingue became Haiti in 1804. Slavery was still thriving in countries in South America, and territories like Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Chile, and modern Bolivia were under Spanish rule. One man wanted for South America to be freed of Spanish rule. His name? Simón Bolívar. After his revolutionary forces were defeated in Cartagena, a city in modern-day Colombia, by the powerful Spanish army, Bolívar headed to Haiti and sought Haiti's help. The year was 1815, and Bolívar landed in Aux-Cayes, presided over by the then president of southern Haiti, Alexander Pétion. Haiti was barely 11 years old as a nation. Bolívar sought assistance and Pétion gave it, and then some. To begin with, Bolívar and the revolutionaries' families and soldiers who came with him were given shelter and food so that they could recuperate physically and regroup. They stayed long enough in Haiti that one of Bolívar's companions started a business in the city of Aux-Cayes. According to the historian Marc Péan, this companion of Bolívar opened up a musical school that gave piano lessons to the elite children in Aux-Cayes. As Henry Lafayette Villaume d'Ancudré Holstein, one of Bolívar's companions would later attest in a memoir, the Haitian government made great advances to General Bolívar in ammunition, provisions, and money. President Pétion and his friend General Boyer were very favorable to the expedition. The historian Jacques-Nicolas Léger recounts that Pétion gave Bolívar 4,000 rifles, gunpowder, cartridges, food, and a printing press. Pétion gave his aid on the condition that Bolívar free the slaves in all the territories that would get their independence from Spain. Léger also contends that in addition to being a financier of the independence of the countries of South America, Pétion also served as counselor, as some of Bolívar's companions had a fallout with him during the stay in Haiti, and Pétion helped them reconcile so that they could remain committed to their cause. One of Haiti's historians, Charles Dupuy, author of Les Coins de la Histoire, reveals that Pétion also supplied Bolívar with manpower. Dupuy names one in particular, a Savoy Courtois, whom he, Dupuy, labels as a great military strategist and Haitian Revolutionary War veteran. John Lynch, one of Bolívar's biographers, also concurs, mentioning in his work Simón Bolívar, A Life, that Bolívar was furnished with Haitian soldiers for his 1816 expedition and ships. Léger reiterates this, stating in the book Haiti, Her History and Her Detractors, that Pétion authorized Haitian soldiers to leave with Bolívar. Léger quotes a letter dated February 1816, in which Simón Bolívar requests permission to give him the title Liberator. Here are some portions of Bolívar's letter as reported by Léger in Haiti, Her History and Her Detractors, Bolívar to Pétion. In my proclamation to the inhabitants of Venezuela, and in the decrees that I have to issue concerning the slaves, I do not know if I am allowed to express the feelings of my heart to your excellency, and to leave to posterity an everlasting token of your philanthropy. I do not know, I say, if I must declare that you are the author of our liberty. I beg your excellency to let me know his will on the matter. Pétion hurriedly wrote Bolívar a letter on the 16th of that month, asking Bolívar to keep Haiti's role on the hush-hush, as he didn't want to gain an enemy in Spain. Léger recounts that Bolívar left Aux-Cayes on April 10, 1816, only to return back in July of that year, defeated by the Spaniard General Morales. Pétion came to the rescue again, providing a new set of ammunition and other aid for Bolívar's December 1816 departure to South America. This time, according to Leger, Bolívar succeeded in defeating Spain. The official and private letters of Simón Bolívar, collected in the volume El Libertador, Writings of Simón Bolívar, reveal that Haiti's influence in South America went beyond providing aid. According to Professor David Bushnell, its compiler, Bolívar modeled Bolivia's early government on Haiti's, and his own constitution in the newly independent Venezuela was modeled on the one Alexander Pétion drew for Haiti. Leger relates how in 1826, Simón Bolívar headed the Panama Congress, a league of American republics, but did not invite Haiti to please the United States, which was still a slaveholding state. In 1929, this pamphlet, originally published in Port-au-Prince by Marion Ain in 1849 by a Haitian senator whose father, Marion Ain the Elder, which gave details of Bolívar's stay in Haiti, was reprinted by a Mr. François Delancourt. In later years, observers contended that the connection between Haiti and Venezuela has never been forgotten. Writing in the book The Making and the Destruction of Haiti, Frank Senath points out a diplomatic and fraternal relationship between Haiti and several countries in South America, in particular with Venezuela. Senath mentions energy aid that Venezuela bestowed upon Haiti in the early 2000s. This bust monument of Pétion, created by the artist Christian Oviedo, was erected on a street in Colombia as a tribute to the contributions of Haiti. There is also a monument dedicated to Pétion in Caracas, Venezuela, as a symbol of Haiti's financing the end of slavery and establishing independence from Spain in a great many countries in South America. Be sure to tune in for another edition of Crayoliscious.com presents